Welcome back. And with me we have Louis Cohen, the co-founder of DLX Law, and also Annemarie Tierney, the Chief Strategy Officer and General Counsel of Templum. Welcome. We're going to talk about law today, but it's such a crucial part of the financial markets, especially as they change really quickly. So let's start, Annemarie. We hear a lot about blockchain. We've covered blockchain a lot in this show. What does it have to do with the capital markets?
So I think it represents an opportunity for a significant upgrade in the way that infrastructure around the markets works right now. Many companies are incorporated in the state of Delaware, and in July of 2017, Delaware became the first state to change its incorporation rules so that companies could actually trade stock or register share ownership on the blockchain.
So what does that mean for investors then if the company that they have shares in allows them to be bought and sold on the blockchain?
Well, one of the things that is a challenge, particularly for people who have shares in public companies, is knowing actually who the shareholders are, and the shareholders actually being able to be identified. So, for example, Dole Foods had a well-known problem some years back where they tried to identify who their shareholders were for a corporate transaction, and the number that they thought they had was off by the actual number by 20%. So there's a huge issue. But more particularly for private companies, it allows the company and the shareholders to have a much more direct connection and starts to create rails for different kinds of things, information sharing directly and other perks.
Okay.
From an investor point of view, I think you can see exactly what you own and all the terms and conditions around that stock ownership. You could actually see, okay, I own shares in this issuer, and here's when I can resell, here's all the terms and conditions.
So everything is there. You don't have to go to the filing cabinet and search for it.
Or emails or wherever you're holding.
What about the cost of the transaction? Does this impact that in any way?
It certainly, in any fullness of time, should bring down costs. One way folks can think about this is a little bit of the evolution of Netflix. Initially, with Netflix, you got this envelope in the mail, and it was a physical thing. It might have been a digital CD, but you had this physical thing, you had to send it back. At some point, we transitioned so that you can actually stream your content and have a direct relationship with Netflix. Now, with what Templum and others are doing, shareholders and issuers can have that same kind of direct connection.
I feel like I hear, at least, that blockchain, the U.S. is kind of behind a little bit. What do you think?
It's a fair question.
Yeah.
I would say that regulators here in the U.S. are being very thoughtful about it, and they recognize that there's been a bit of a hype cycle around blockchain technology. Rather than sort of diving in, they're sort of pursuing things in a kind of thoughtful way. I believe that in 2019 will be a watershed year, and we'll start to see the SEC and other regulators being, a little bit more open to how this technology can move forward.
Okay, so last question. Looking ahead to 2019, I mean, is this something investors should pay attention to? Is this something they can go, yeah, that's down the road a couple of years, I can worry about that later? How do you see things next year?
You go first.
Well, at DLX Law, we're really excited about this because we're just at the absolute inception point of what this technology can do for the capital markets. I think 2019 is going to be a very big year.
Every single bank we've met with, big banks and market intermediaries, stock exchanges, all of them are looking at blockchain solutions. On the public side, again, like the infrastructure doesn't exist yet other than in the state of Delaware, so that's going to require a pretty significant build. But in the private side, you can take what's already existing and just, like we've already talked about, put a new spin on it. But I think that many issuers that we're talking to are very interested in what tokenization provides. And we think, the big benefits to investors and to issuers, we've talked about transparency of ownership. It makes it much simpler to distribute.
Yeah.
Dividends, for example, or information, disclosure, that sort of thing.
No, I said that was the final question, but I just thought of something else.
Okay.
So, just quickly, what could investors see? Will they have a wallet, like on their phone? Like, how will this work? How do you see this? And they will have all the tokens of a company, if they invest in IBM or whatever, that will be in that wallet? Is that how this will look?
So there will be a custodian solution. It will look like a wallet, but it won't be, I don't believe, a crypto exchange kind of solution. It will be a different level custodian that is an intermediary that the market's comfortable with. We see a lot of entities out there looking at ways to provide custodial solutions around tokens. So I think it will be like your Schwab account, but it will be a tokenized wallet structure for everything you've bought in tokenized fashion. So I think, again, it's traditional feeling with a different technology behind
Okay,
it.
is that how you?
And
Do you
I'd
agree?
absolutely agree, but I think for me, one of the most exciting things here is the white piece of paper we have in front of us. So, innovators like Templum and others are building solutions. Some of them may look like that, others may look a little bit different. So it's a little bit of a let 1,000 flowers bloom, and we'll see, and the market will adjust to what
right.
really where demand is. The one thing that probably won't happen, as you say, is sort of a private key where you just lose all your stock and all your investments if you couldn't find your private key.
If you
I
can't
think that's-
remember it,
yeah, that's
25-digit number.
I think we
yeah.
could say that's probably
Let's
not
certainly
gonna happen.
hope not, because
Yes.
I can't even remember my phone number sometimes.
You got it.
Thank you so much. Fascinating and a very exciting time to be in this industry and kind
Thanks.
of watch how it's all going to unfold over the next few years. So
For sure, Jane.
thank you, Louis and Annemarie, for joining us. And thank you as well. We'll be right back.
Thank you.